Here is a basic form guide of the principles I want you to follow when you're skipping. So the first one is always warm up and practice the footwork without the rope. This is a good way to warm up and to get that muscle memory going on practicing that footwork before you have the pressure of spinning the rope. Now you want the rope at the correct length. A rough guideline is to stand on the rope and hold the handles up. If the handles come up to your armpits, that's roughly the right size. However, you might need to adjust it a few times to find what works best for you. Then when we're skipping, we want to keep the wrists in this pocket position. Look how they're rotating now. Also, you want to make sure when you're jumping, it's only 1 to 2 inches off the floor. Everything stays nice and bouncy on the balls of your feet. Elbows want to be tucked in, slightly flexed behind the body, but towards the side. The more you think about this, the better, but don't worry if you can't nail it straight away. We want to make sure that by doing this, we create a nice narrow arc, which gives us more of success when we're jumping, gives us more chance of jumping the rope. The further your arms come out towards the body, the less chance you're going to have of jumping through it. As I'll show you now, look at the loop. Now look at the difference when our arms are wide, and that is why when your arms drift out to the side, you'll normally mess up. I want to avoid using our arms to spin the rope like I'm doing now. Look at the difference, elbows in, wrists powering the rope. Get them elbows flexed slightly behind the body, and imagine you've got water on your wrists and you're flicking your wrist down, and that is the motion you want to generate the power from your wrist to spin the rope. And it doesn't matter what type of footwork you practice or you perform, the basic principles of keeping a nice narrow arc, elbows locked in and wrist spinning the rope is exactly what we want to follow. This will give you more success when you're jumping. We want to avoid pointing our handles out towards the side or spinning our arms too much like I'm showing now. We also want to avoid jumping too high and putting too much force in the landing. We want to be nice and soft. Imagine you're jumping on ice and you don't want to break that ice. You also want to avoid heel flicks and double bouncing. However, these common errors are completely normal for beginner, and if you do find that you're falling into these habits, then by posting your videos in the support group, I can give you feedback on how to improve it, so do not panic. The more you understand these basic principles, the better your technique will become.